Electronic arts, either you have some people that are knowingly recruiting and programming people for excessive compulsive genocidal operations. They're either knowingly do it or they're being programmed by people at Fort Huachuca that can program people like a video game, and they recruit them, and then once they get them involved, it's like, this is it. Make no mistake where you are, your back's to the corner. This is it. You're going no further. And so, if you won't stand up for the Lord's Prayer and you accept money as value, how can you be critical of anybody that is accepting money as value? If you won't accept a living, breathing, beautiful, amazing, faithful, gorgeous Messiah, what makes you think that Jesus is your God and that he can pay for your sins if you invent him into a comic book character with your imagination and your money, and you're writing words on paper and then declaring it a law by a bunch of murdering assholes in designer suits? Or they could be, comedian screenwriters that show up in sweats with urine stains and whatever, wherever, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hit on Mindy Kaling, okay? She has 3 kids. I understand that nobody is married right now, that they're just bumping uglies for money, but I'm not trying to hit on Mindy Kaling. In case there's anybody out there, concerned about that. Not that anyone cares. I'm the skinny chick from The Gap on The Big Bang Theory. Only I'm 235. I probably will do, while Dad goes to Santa Fe, I probably will do some fasting that whole week. I don't know so much fasting. I'll probably go to the store and get some cantaloupe and strawberries, have that for breakfast, and then just eat carrots and celery for dinner all week and clean out. And then maybe do some fasting later. I don't know. I'm not going to really do any fasting and stop cleaning the body out with foods and telling you, those people that are extreme, what's that guy's name? Chris Hemsworth and all his Danny Amendola and the Pussycat Bitches and all that. Guys, they're in pristine communities and environments. They go from city, country, city to city. They can fast. I can't. Okay, I've got Roundup that I got to go out there tomorrow and put on my sweats and go cut up with the weed eater with a COVID mask on and stuff like that. I don't get a relief. I don't get a break. I don't have a place. I don't give. Earl takes the Hamptons. Earl takes Jackson Hole. This isn't keeping up with the Kardashians, right? Okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't get relief. It's constant, fuck you and all the poor people on Loman and El Paso and Juarez. Fuck you all. Pray to your imagination to save you. It's never going to happen. It's like it's happening right now. All past, present, future operate at the same time. The Gospels aren't something that did happen or going to happen. They're happening away. Even though you're looking at a ghost. Hi, Space Ghost. Where's Brack? He's over there. Zorak's over there. No, Zorak's dead. What happened? He had sex with Singor and she ate his head. No, just kidding. It's funny. What do you know for funny? I love you, baby. Will you marry me? You don't have to answer. Think it over. That was so stupid. Patrick loved Cartoon Planet. He liked Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I was like, how do you watch this? It's goofy. He has a very abstract sense of humor. He must get it from his mother. Yes, because his mother would sit there and, when me and Brian took Mal and Steffi to go see Bill and Ted, right? And Mal and Steffi are both like, this is so stupid, right? Me and Brian are laughing our asses off because Brian was raised in the suburbs of white people, and I went to high school in Phoenix in the suburbs of white people, right? So I'm like, oh, this is so suburbs of white people shit. It's like Wayne's World. It's Bill and Ted, right? So me and Bob are laughing our asses. me and Brian are laughing our asses off, right? And Mal and Steffi are both like, this is stupid. And we're both like, what do you mean it's stupid? It's hilarious. You didn't... Okay. She was raised Green Arrow and Payne. And then, okay. But you went Avondale. Okay. She didn't hang out with the white people. She hung out with the black people. House party. Steffi was laughing her ass off. Mao. All this stuff is chit. It's like chit. It was real hard to find anything that she could culturally relate to and find funny. She would have to watch, like old Mexican comedy movies and so and stuff that they grew up on Telemundo and stuff like that. But with our stuff, it was like, this isn't very funny. It's like, no, it's hilarious. It's our culture. It's okay. You don't laugh at Benny Hill either, do you? Okay, I get it. You're raised by crazy Mormon ladies. I understand. I love my sister. I love my brother. I get it. So it's like when you have no sense of humor, okay, and you're not capable of having a sense of humor because you're too uptight to have a sense of humor, and you kill yourself from stress. And what are those things called? Ulcers, right? Guys, the only thing, I can't stand what EA Sports has done with in the military community, did with Revamped and all that. And 14, right before it was my favorite video game, and right before they shut it off with those court cases, they did this, and that was specifically put in there for me. Okay. Every time Brandon Bittencourt scored a touchdown, every time I thought it was Tariq Knightley on the gloves. That's how naive I am. They were dick measuring and rubbing it in my face, and you'll never win, Haile Selassie Jr. And I'm like, really? I had no idea what they were doing. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not Barack Obama, masturbating to Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day. I'm just not. It doesn't happen here. It just does not compute. I don't play fantasy football. I got kicked out of betting pools all the time when I was younger in the military because I always won. Well, just like with Sammy Nunez in Miss Nail's class, you're a traitor. It's betting. It's money. It's business, Miss Nail. Well, it has nothing to do with home, this, that, and that. I like Terry Fielder. I like Stacey Garner. I tolerate pretty well. I really like the Medina brothers. They're really good guys. They always will be pretty decent guys, I'm pretty sure. Mike Medina and what was Mark and Mike? I think it was the offensive line. Good guys. Okay. Jerry Hamilton, real good guy. Larry, he was the black guy from White Sands. Yeah, he thought he was all that. He was kind of an ass. He would have never been able to touch me in practice. You can try to tackle me. As soon as you lower that stupid head and try to knock me down, I'm hopping right over you and right into just like Gary Wood and Colville. You're just mad because you can't catch him or knock him down. Run, Bambi, run! Right? The Medina boys would be like, "This is great, man. You just take the court. You don't. All you have to do is just get in the way." Just get in the way. Earl gets on your rump. He's patient. And as soon as he sees his break, he goes for it. And no one can catch him. And he doesn't let people trip him because he keeps his legs up high and he high steps and he keeps his knees up, like I tried to explain to James Hall. You're tiptoeing. You can't tiptoe through that. You're playing against really good athletes. In high school, you could get away with it. In college, no. They're going to trip you up the moment you tiptoe through that. You trust. You keep your knees up. You trust, you get on the rump of your guys. I didn't tiptoe. I was faster than James Hall. I could just come and kind of just take steps. I kept my legs up because I learned by watching Gil Sayers and guys like that. I watched really good football players when I was a kid. And it's okay, I could do that. And then I would go do it. And then I would just sit there and I'd get on their rump and I'd be running, my knees high. And Gary Ward, he runs like a faggot. And I run like a gazelle, but it's just and then take off, and as soon as they try to grab my flag or tackle me, I would just high step, and they couldn't trip me, and I would just go on. It was just like, and that's all she wrote. So, yeah, I'm watching James gripe about EA, but it's like you can't gripe about EA. Well, because you either live the Lord's Prayer or you don't live the Lord's Prayer. You either believe in the Lord or you don't believe in the Lord. You either understand the truth and obey the laws given to us by truth to exist, or you don't. And you can write all this crap you want, all this crap you want, all this crap you want. It's not going to make it so. And trust me, we have artificial general intelligence and quantum computing collecting all the evidence and cutting through all the crap. Truth, lie. Truth, lie. Necessitated, not necessitated. Essential personnel, non-essential personnel. Hey, look, it's Blackula on the Enterprise. Beam me up, Scotty. Do you understand what's happening? I don't think you guys do. I think Jeff had kind of a knowledge, but Jeff isn't. Jeff and Dimas and they're not as intelligent as I am because they're not reliable sources of faithful communication without fear of being tortured and dying and have everybody that is jealous of you try to kill your entire family off the planet and torture them to death while they do it. It's when you understand, okay, life's eternal, grace is infinite. We're given by the glory of God, might have the capacity to manipulate by a rotten, disgusting, jealous piece of shit. You're just like, you just smile a lot. You just go, you can keep doing this, but it's not going well for you. The Gospels aren't something that did happen or going to happen. It's just Zingor is eating, you don't want to see it. Zingor is eating Zorak's head. He just mated with her and should couscous and get even, and it's not going to happen. You should understand he's a praying mantis and not a man. Right? Brack, I have no idea what Brack is. He's a space alien from somebody's imagination, right? You know, like that. Somebody's imagination doing stupid shit to sell you food products wrapped in plastic for their make-believe money, right? Right, everything, okay. It's stupid as fuck. Yes, it is. Completely insane and retarded. Yes, it is. And people living in a toxic environment and then taking drugs to say it's not happening. You don't have chemical poisoning from the freeway and yeah, you can take the drugs and you go off to a pristine environment where the rich people go and okay. Earl takes the Hamptons. Earl takes Jackson Hole. Earl takes Malibu. Earl goes all kin, starts doing Barbie, and the most beautiful, pristine environments where rich people go to take pictures and study animals everywhere. Hey, look, it's Captain Kirk with his friend Neil deGrasse Tyson, and there's Mike Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson's big sister. What's Mike gonna do about it? What is Mike gonna do? You think I'm afraid of Mike Tyson? Okay, seriously? I'll use Shaquille O'Neal to beat your ass with his son's blessing. Yeah, go ahead and grab Dad by the ankles and smack Mike Tyson in the chest with his head, and they'll both wake up and go, damn, maybe we should not piss her all off, and we should stand up for Lord's Prayer. You know, that's ludicrous, but we should. I really like Nestle's Quick, too. We should tell Ludacris, no more fucking stupid-ass State Farm commercials. Yeah, I agree, because money ain't real, but the truth is, and the proof of truth is our Father, and He loves us. And He doesn't literally want to do what He does to us. He just does it figuratively, because He's absolutely gorgeous. I totally agree. Shaquille O'Neal has a really good son. I like his son very much. That kid is a total sweetheart. He is a sweetheart. Well, they always talked all this shit about the Mikey Williams kid who has, some brain damage because of all the abuse. And because Shaq put his kids in an environment where the abuse wasn't prevalent, Shaq's kid can sit down and reflect and have faithful prayer without fear of abuse and conflict and everybody fighting to kick him out of his house and put him in the street and do all the things that they do with his teammate Mike Williams, right? So they come from radically different environments because Shaq was able to shelter his kiddos, like the Muñiz kids and stuff. So we'll talk later, guys. I love you. All right, peace out.